Hello everyone and welcome to Rewind, the retro video game show coming to you every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, right here on the AWS for Games channels on YouTube and Twitch. My name is Chris Melasinos and I'm the Principal Evangelist for Video Games here at AWS. And on today's episode, we're going to be looking at what is arguably the worst cartridge-based handheld game console in history, the Tiger GameCom. Now on Rewind, we explore the history of the games industry to understand what's been tried before, what's worked, what's flopped, all in the pursuit of better understanding of how we arrived to become the biggest entertainment industry and the greatest art form of all time. The GameCom has lessons to teach, so let's experience its story. Now, it's not entirely fair to call this the worst handheld game console in history, because that is entirely subjective. I'm sure that there were some kids that got a hold of this and it was, their primary on-the-go game system, and I'm sure that there are some that loved it. But compared to its contemporaries, the Tiger GameCom, while ambitious for sure, fell well behind other handhelds like the Game Boy, Game Gear, and Atari Lynx. Although it was released more than a decade after the original Game Boy, it didn't stand a chance competing directly. I mean, it just couldn't, right? Tiger Electronics was originally founded back in 1978 and created memorable electronic and mechanical toys like the amazing, for its time, 2XL Robot, QuizWiz Trivia Handheld, the Furby line of fuzzy robotic aliens, and the cassette recorder, the Talkboy. But most people know Tiger by its line of handheld LCD games that were popular in the 1990s. These games were predominantly based on licensed content like the Addams Family, Sega games like Afterburner, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Echo the Dolphin, Disney titles and characters like DuckTales, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and Mickey Mouse, and a whole lot more. It's estimated that there were more than 175 different titles produced. Now, while these little LCD games could not hold up against their cartridge-based competitors, many were pretty fun, and for approximately $20 a game, these were good enough to keep the kids occupied for a while during a road trip. Now, Tiger extended their line of LCD games to a head-mounted device called the R-Zone, and this cartridge-based head-mounted system featured approximately 30 released titles, and all of the compute and logic for the games were contained in the cartridge itself. It was a miserable flop and is probably the worst cartridge-based system released by a major company. So with their sales of the LCD lines waning and the Game Boy juggernaut continuing to expand, Tiger wanted to lean into the future and bring new innovations to this space. And they did have some really interesting ideas. When the Tiger GameCom released to the US market in the autumn of 1997, it brought with it a 10 MHz CPU versus the Game Boy's 4 MHz CPU, 4-bit grayscale versus the Game Boy's 2-bit, a more advanced audio processor capable of using voice samples, a 200 by 160 resolution screen versus the Game Boy's 160 by 144 resolution, a touchscreen, and a modem for limited internet connectivity. I mean, those are really ambitious specs. So despite the impressive, on paper at least, specs for the GameCom, the games produced for the system, most of which were licensed properties, were too ambitious for the handheld, and as a result, suffered from low frame rates, choppy animations, and just poor overall gameplay. A second version called the GameCom Pocket Pro was released in the summer of 1999, featuring a smaller body, a smaller screen, one cartridge slot instead of two in the original, and no internet capabilities. Now, this system would release at $29.99, and the new system would come in 5 different colors, competing with the Game Boy Pocket's color variants. However, the lack of third-party support, clunky games, and overwhelming popularity of the Game Boy saw Tiger leave the handheld game market in 2000, just 3 years after they entered it. The Tiger GameCom remains an oddity in video game history, a technically advanced, ambitious product that never found its footing. So let's jump back to 1997 and explore the titles in the GameCom library. All right, boy, here we go. All right, so the Tiger GameCom. About 20 games released for the system, and it just really did not, like I said, find its footing. So we're going to go and explore the games that we can play. Now, some of these do require the touchscreen, and unfortunately, because I don't have an original GameCom, we're going to be doing this through emulation. That also means some of the games we're not going to be able to go ahead and play, but at least we can go ahead and take a look at them. So, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into... like I said, there was licensed content for all these, right? So let's go ahead and jump into, a pretty well-known title, Frogger, all right? So let's go ahead and launch the Frogger game here on the GameCom. Now, oh yeah, listen to that startup. GameCom. Right, and as I said, it had voice, or it could do samples. So you had voice at a time when you really didn't have this in handheld consoles, let alone really, well, you did have them in bigger video game consoles, right? Of course, we had, the PlayStation was out and the Saturn and all of those things, right? And we did have voice samples in earlier systems like the Genesis and Super Nintendo. But for a handheld, that was a pretty rare thing. But this was the screen that you were presented with anytime you turned the machine on. So here are the 6 things that you had available to you. So let's go ahead and take a look through them real quickly. So you had your cartridge, you had your phone book, and let's turn that on. And there was a phone book. You could go ahead and enter in your contacts. So, if you were a kid business person, right, with your GameCom and wanted to keep all of your contacts in your GameCom, there you go. You could do that. But like I said, without having an actual unit, I can't actually use the touchscreen. Now, the touchscreen was actually really janky, right? It was literally kind of a grid of buttons that you could press, and it was really very difficult to get accurate presses on that screen. But you did have your phone book in there. You also had your calendar. There you go. So you could go ahead and kind of click through and look at your calendar. What else do we have here? We had solitaire. Now, I'm a sucker for a solitaire game, right? Because it's just easy to go ahead and jump into, and you have it on every platform in the world. So I do like the fact that it included something like a solitaire game. See, if you don't want to go ahead and play your game cartridge, you actually had access to this. But as I said, without a touchscreen, I can't play it. It doesn't allow for using the control pad. Which would have been nice, right, if they had done that, but they didn't. You also had your high score tables. Now, what the GameCom allowed players to do was, if a game supported it, you could go ahead and get your high score in your game, hook the system up to its 14.4 modem, connect to the GameCom server, and upload your high scores there to be then displayed in an online leaderboard on the web. So think about, the era in which this was happening, right? All of this was completely new. And, Tiger was trying to demonstrate some innovation in this space by allowing for that simple online connectivity, but allowing you to go ahead and put your high scores up there from your GameCom library. So that was actually a pretty cool idea. Ambitious, clunky, and unfortunately, no games actually supported it, which is, again, unfortunate, right? Then, of course, you had, everybody's favorite, the calculator, and you didn't want to go ahead and take this system out during class and turn it on. It's like, no, I'm playing a game, not cheating on my math test. But yeah, you had a calculator in there. But those are the 6 options you had when you started this up. Again, your cartridge, phone book, calculator, and high score system and solitaire. But let's go ahead and fire up the cartridge. Every time you started up, it did that. And we're going to go ahead and play some Frogger. And let's see how this fares against, Frogger, right? that we experience in the arcade and on other systems, right, at this time. So, yeah, okay. There's our audio. Let's make sure I think that's loud enough. All right, so what do we have here? We have our classic. Oh, we can flip it. I don't know why we could do that. We could flip screen. Again, not sure why we do that unless you wanted to play it left-handed, perhaps. That has to be what it's for. Now, that's really interesting. I didn't even know that. And that's something the Atari Lynx did, right? The Atari Lynx had a separate set of buttons on the top and bottom, so you could actually flip the screen around for left-handed control versus right, which is pretty innovative and, something that the GameCom leaned into. But let's just go ahead and play. Let's play the classic first, and then let's check out what the updated one is. That what that was called? Yeah, updated. Yeah. Let's try the classic, and then we'll go try the updated. All right. All right, so you have the audio that you would expect. Okay, this one actually looks pretty good, right? I mean, unmistakably, it's Frogger. Now, of course, there was an LCD version of this game as well, I believe, that they produced, and certainly didn't look anything like this one. Now, what's interesting is on this version of it, bringing things out like the snake or other enemies, this early on is not something that typically happened. Oh, so the snake touched me from the log underneath it. Okay, that shouldn't have happened either. That's a pretty cheap way to do this. All right, we grab that one there. Yeah, I mean, so in this case, yeah, it's Frogger. And it just works. Let's see, is the snake going to get me there? Okay, no. All right, let's just clear the level out and then see what this looks like. So, again, when you think about where Tiger was, and this is not uncommon just, for companies overall in the tech space, right? They were really running into this innovator's dilemma problem. They had really made themselves known for their LCD line of handheld games. These $20 games, and were very similar to, well, not very similar, they were pretty much like the earlier LCD games from companies like Nintendo. Oh, I ran out of time. That's what it was. It wasn't the snake. Yeah, let's see if we can go back. Game paused. Let's return to the main menu, and we're going to go ahead and try the classic version. See. So anyway, Tiger was known for building those LCD-based games, and the market had moved by. But all of their business was wrapped up in creating those $20 blister pack games that you got on store, on the pegboards when you were leaving a Toys R Us or something like that. They were also the same type of games that we saw, including like Happy Meals, and again, the market had moved. So now they had basically all their manufacturing, all their licensing wrapped up in those style games, and they needed to adapt and change. So what did they do? They leaned into that heritage and created this system that could, basically use their expertise in manufacturing and all those sorts of things to come out to market. But they knew they just couldn't come out with yet another cartridge-based handheld. They had to, add these other features in there to differentiate itself from Nintendo. There was no way they were going to be able to compete with Nintendo on the Game Boy in market. So they went ahead and added these other pieces to it. And again, their ambitions exceeded the technology they created. But like I said, this may have been the game console that some kid got. And if this is all they lived with, right, they learned to love it. A game like Frogger, it plays really well. Like, I don't have a problem with this one. So, all right, good job. Good job with Frogger. All right, let's try Duke Nukem 3D. So this is where, they really got ahead of themselves in terms of what the system could do. Again, overly ambitious, but let's give it a shot and check it out. All right, and here we go. My goodness, this one is pretty bad, I have to say. It's Duke Nukem only in that you can recognize some of the characters as being from the Duke Nukem franchise. But here we go. A 3D game on a 10 megahertz machine with this limited screen resolution. All right, yeah. Let's see what our options are. And we're going to make it little, let's see. Oh no, sounds. We want the sounds on. I mean, who wouldn't want that? All right, here we go. LA Meltdown. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and make this a little easy on us because of just how entering Hollywood Holocaust.
That's the second time those alien bastards shot up my ride.
Okay, that's pretty good. Ooh, all right. So this is like, you're just scrolling left to right here. There's not a whole lot. You're not turning in 3D. There are no shoulder buttons on this. Okay, let's just go pick up all of those pieces. You had to kind of remember where everything was or back up so you could see what you missed. There's the ammo for the pistols. All right, let's go open the doors. How are we going to do that? Oh, there's the shotgun. And then, let me see. How do we do this? Okay, is that? No, we don't open it that way. Then I need to. Yeah, you couldn't even see what was going to be in front of you. Oh, there's a movie poster. Okay, so we're used to seeing that. There's the pistol. What else do we have here? Okay, we're rotating through our weapons here. Okay, how do we do this? See, look at that. We can't even. Oh, maybe I have to. Let's see. Is it this button? No. Is it that one? No. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Dang it. All right, let's go ahead and try it again. All right, let's rock and let's figure it out. Entering Hollywood Holocaust.
That's the second time those alien
Oh, see, now look at that. When I shot, the sound effect went ahead and, oh man, I am out of, I'm, okay, well, let's see, why did that change that way? Okay, gotta reload that. All right, let's get the guard done. Okay, let's pick up everything that we need to here. All right, now let's go find, let's see, I can't shoot any of that, right? Oh, there we go. I got you, I got you. Okay, that's, okay, there it is. And now when I step in, boom. Okay, so I had to be exactly centered there. That was really weird. But, yeah, you can see just how disappointed you would be if you were a kid expecting, you know, Duke Nukem like your, you know, your big siblings' Duke Nukem game, you know. Okay, I just ran through that guy.
Damn, I'm good.
Yeah. Damn, you're good. Yeah, whatever. Okay, door unlocked, and now can I... Okay, now I can step through here. Oh, look at that. So, yeah, so when I walk down the corridor then, it changed for you. So that's how it's handling 3D. Okay, so here we are in the theater. We're going to step to the front, get that.
I needed that.
The med kit. Okay, we shattered that. All right, we completed Hollywood Holocaust. All right, now let's see. How am I going to change? Here we go, shotgun. Let's change to shotgun. See what that does there. Oh, look at that. Okay, you know, like I said, it is not what you would expect in Duke Nukem 3D game. But given the limitations of the system and what the programmers had to do to make this work, this one's not entirely bad either. Okay, so I'm going to have to adjust the way I think about this. Okay, so now when we come to the corner, it'll automatically, look at that, pivot you around. So it's got you, gives you a little bit of graphics there. What do I have? Okay, I still have ammo left. Oh, yeah, hit that guy. Yeah, so, you know, okay, so while it's not a great game by any stretch of the imagination, I could see myself playing through this, especially if this is what I had available to me, you know, as a kid. Plus, you know, if you were a kid and you got a hold of this, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised by, let's see, does that need to open there? There we go. All right, I want to change back to my shotgun. Okay, now we have left to right. So if I press right, yeah, there we go. So it did let you choose. Okay, that's... You know what? Here's what I like about it. It is certainly not the game that that I would want to play, right? Instead of the original Duke Nukem. However, this is where, the magic of video games can happen, where a developer says, look, my system can't deliver the experience that I needed to deliver. So I'm going to, do some stuff to make it seem like it can. Make it the world feel bigger than it is, right? That kind of thing. And so they figured out a way to make it feel like you're moving in a 3D space even when you weren't. You're not really in a 3D space, right? But that is pretty convincing for such a limited little handheld. Now, of course, I don't want to be strafing left to right. I want to be actually turning and moving through the environment. But, again, not too bad. Not too bad. It's actually more playable than I thought it would be. Huh. Okay, this is Duke Nukem 3D on the GameCom. Okay, this is the second title now where I'm a bit surprised. Oh, there you go. And you flipped upside down because you died, and there you go. All right, Duke. All right, GameCom and Duke Nukem 3D. Not entirely terrible, and really creative in terms of how they went ahead and adjusted for certain limitations, right, of the machine. So, all right, let's move on to a really famous title and one that should play really well on a limited system like this, which is Centipede. Again, another classic arcade game. Let's see how it fares on the GameCom. Now, one of the things that we don't want, it's kind of clever, with the, with the animations you have, but it can get a little frustrating. You change the game every time you turn the system on. It's got to go to the title screen. Every time you plug in a cartridge, you have to go to the main screen and select it. So that's a bit of a pain, but, other than that, that's fine. And hopefully, with only 20 games available that were officially released, you probably kept a game in there for quite some time, which actually that wouldn't even matter because it would still do the startup anyway. So what am I talking about? All right, let's go ahead and try. Again, let's check out the classic version, and then let's go ahead and check out the updated version. So here we go. Yeah, it's Centipede, right? A great game in its own right. And yeah, it looks and plays just like Centipede. Of course, there's no music, nor was there in the arcade. Very difficult game once you start getting into the upper levels, but you start to learn techniques like building kind of channels or tunnels that the Centipede would move down, and how do you then align like poison mushrooms with those tunnels, right? So let's see if we can get them down into... I want to shoot him there. I got to watch out for that spider at the bottom. Okay, it's exactly what we would expect. This is Centipede, right? And it plays fine. I would love to experience it on the original hardware, though. But as I said, it's difficult to get a hold of today. Oh, look at that. There's a glitch there. Those two mushrooms at the bottom won't let me move forward underneath them to clear them. Oh, okay, now I can. I wonder why I couldn't before. It felt like I was trapped there. Okay, yeah, now we've got them locked down the side here, and if we can keep them going down that tunnel, then, then you can just basically blast the whole Centipede without having to move away from it. The spider moves pretty erratically, too. Okay, there's the flea, and the flea is going to add more mushrooms back to the playfield. Okay, so that is, Centipede on it. Let's go ahead and check out the... Let's go check out the enhanced version, or what do they call it? Updated. Let's go check out the updated version. And, okay, stop going up. All right, and let's play this game. And, oh, look at that. All right, so we've got some updated graphics there. Oh, the Centipede's got feet on them now. What is the big mushroom there? It's not a poison. Oh, I do like how when you're blasting the mushroom, instead of it, you know, being kind of obliterated from the side, you basically blast the cap off of it, right? And then, so I'm assuming that that mushroom, yeah, is just probably a 4 shot. So you have to hit it 4 times to get rid of it, I would imagine. Those kind of weird looking mushrooms you always think are going to be like poison mushrooms. So if the centipede touches it, it moves really fast and rapidly down the screen, and you don't, well, sometimes you want that, especially if you can get them, again, down a tunnel of mushrooms. But yeah, that's Centipede on the GameCom. All right, so we are 3 for 3. You know, Frogger, it's Frogger. Centipede, it's Centipede. Duke Nukem 3D, not exactly the same, but I can really appreciate what the developer was going for and what they tried to do there. So, all right. I still give that not quite a thumbs up, halfway, right? Okay. All right, now let's try one that's truly terrible. This is Batman and Robin. Yeah, this one was too ambitious for its own good. And wait till you see this gameplay. This one is pretty suspect. GameCom. That's actually a cool little sample. I should put that in as a ringtone. All right. Here we go. Batman and Robin. Let's see what options we have. Let's make this easy on us. You do have a sound test. Not quite sure why, but all right, let's start it. You can select your hero. There's Batman or Robin. Yeah, we're going to stick with Batman. And then you can choose, you know, what you want. Do weapons to start. So you have, let's do ice blades. And let's start. Here we go. Okay, there's my jump. Really difficult. The collision detection is terrible. I'm trying to turn around here and I can't. I can't. How do I jump up here? I can't. And I can't move past him. The scrolling is terrible. The audio is terrible. I can't backtrack now. Okay. What am I going to do here? Okay, let's jump out of the way here. I couldn't even break his attack to be able to get through. So you can see just this one is pretty horrible. Pretty horrible. The controls are super floaty. Respawns are terrible. The power of the enemies are terrible. I mean, this is not, you know, Streets of Rage by any stretch, right? Look, now, okay, when you're stuck in there, you can't even get it. Okay, I picked up something. I don't even know what that is. Can I get up there? Like, why is that even there? Oh, okay. There we go. Now, why couldn't I do that before? Right? Oh, okay. Can I... What happens when I... Okay, duck? Nothing. Yeah, so you can see this one is just... So I have to press down and jump down. And then down and jump down again. But I couldn't see what's down there. So you could jump like right in the middle of... You know, in the middle of a huge crowd of enemies. Yeah, this one is just... terrible. And you know, with doing this in emulation, I'm sure it's running a whole lot faster than it should be, but yeah, this one just yeah, sorry, this one is terrible. All right, let's stop this. Stop that pain. Batman, horrible on there. All right, Williams Classic Arcade. So we already had 2 classic arcade games, Frogger and Centipede. Let's see how it fares with these Williams Classic Arcades. Now, it does have one of my favorite games of all time, Robotron 2084, in this pack. But there aren't two control, analog controls left and right, or even digital controls left and right. So you got your keypad and you have the cross pad there to control it. So we're going to see how that fares. Oh no, I don't want the phone book. I didn't want the phone book. Yeah. I want the cartridge. Thanks. Okay, here we go. Let's see how this goes here. Williams Arcade Class Defender, Robotron, Joust. Okay, there we are entering the arcade. Yeah, we're gonna see how this one plays out here. All right, we have Defender, Joust, Defender 2, Sinistar, and Robotron. You know, let's just go straight for Robotron and check it out. Oh my goodness. That is just terrible. That is just, I mean, look at this. So you have one of the humans down there not going anywhere. You have... Now, again, I think obviously some of the speed is due to emulation settings, but you can see just... This is just terrible. This is not Robotron. I mean, I'd be pretty pissed if I had gotten my favorite game and it played like this. There are Hulks there, which that's going to be difficult to see on that little screen that it had. Yeah, no. Okay. Yeah, we're done with that one. Let's exit it. Let's go check out some of the other games. Sinistar. Now, Sinistar does have voice samples in it, so I wonder if the GameCom uses the sample capability in the game. Okay, it's trying to. Okay. What we need to do is go... Let's see. Collect... Oh, come on. Sinistar is one piece. I'm trying to mine crystals here. Okay, but it's going to be hard to see those crystals because everything is just this greenish gray color. All right. Let's see. Actually, I'm just gonna avoid all these guys if I can. And oh no, the game's over. Terrible. Okay, let's see what options were available here. We're going to give ourselves a bunch of lives. We're going to make this super easy. And yeah, and then let's see. Oh, so you know what? Let me see if that's going to work. Okay. All right, so now we've got all of these ones here. Okay, but I can't... Yeah, what is the... It's not firing correctly. Sinistar is one piece. All right, I'm just going to try to fly away from everybody and see if the Sinistar will just get built even without me there. Yeah, it's not... Shoot, what a difficult game to control and play. Okay, we're going to keep going here. Let's see. I just want the Sinistar to... Okay, now I can fire, but I wasn't firing before. I want to hear the voice sample for the Sinistar. So maybe... You know, again, when you're doing this in emulation, right, you can see that there's some glitches and stuff on the screen. That makes it difficult, but... yeah, these are not... This is not the version of these games that you want to go ahead and play. That is for sure. Even on original hardware, I guarantee you this would not be the version you want to play. Ambitious, sure, right? And they're trying, and you've got, what, 6 games in this pack? So, you know, that's good value for you know, players back in the day. I mean, better than Action 52 games, right? All right, let's see. How many pieces? 8 pieces. So let's see. So I should be ready to go pretty soon here. Let's see. There you go. All right, so I'm giving it an extra point there because we have Sinistar. Okay, yeah, so the big block that's over on the side should be the Sinistar. So let's see. Come on. I want to hear him roar. When I was a kid, that game, and we actually have played this game, the actual arcade game, on Rewind before. There he is. Oh. But when he roared, when he came onto the screen, oh my gosh, it was so terrifying back in the day. But yeah, let me see. Can I find him again? Let's see. Where is he? So that's not too, that is pretty okay. Come on. Roar. No, it's not going to do the roar. Okay, so that's Sinistar. Yeah, not the greatest game. Yeah, we're just going to exit out of that one there. And then let's go ahead and take a look at one more. Let's look at Joust. Pretty simple game. You know, you have to flap and get above your opponent's mounts to turn them into eggs, and then pick up the eggs before they turn into more enemies. And yeah, I mean, you can kind of tell, you know, who you are because your color's a little less green-gray than your opponent's. Okay, yeah. It's Joust. Works just fine, even if the controls are a bit janky, but yeah. You know, it's Joust. The audio is pretty terrible, but that's okay. All right, that is the Williams Classic Game Collection on there. Definitely not a buy. Let's go ahead and check out, you know, again, here we go. Sonic Jam. All right, let's go ahead and check this out. Here we go. Sonic Jam. Let's check this out here. Just see how Sonic the Hedgehog looked on the GameCom. And so, you know, I really want to understand why some of these companies license their content to, you know, to Tiger. Now, it may have been that it was just an extension of the contracts or licenses that Tiger already had for some of this content, right? They had made some Sonic the Hedgehog-based games, quite a number of them actually, on those little LCD handhelds. So I'm wondering if there was just, you know, they said, hey, we're coming with this new thing. It's really just extending the stuff that we've always been doing. So Sega, hey, you know, let us make this game, especially because Sega already had a handheld out market, that kind of thing. Although not really, right? At this time, you know, Game Gear really wasn't an ongoing concern. So I don't know if it was a cash grab or, again, just an extension of their license, but it would have been really good to understand that and know. So, all right, let's see. We've got Sonic 3. We have Sonic 2, Sonic and Knuckles. Let's go with Sonic 2. And check this out. Oh my gosh. Okay, now this is a case where I think I would rather be playing the LCD version of Sonic than the GameCom version of Sonic. Let's see, do we have Spin Dash? I mean, this was just terrible. All right, let's get down here. Let's see if we can... I mean, what? No. So this is where, you know, again, it starts to get into problems. It was not designed to play this game, right? I mean, GameCom was just not powerful enough to... Oh, look, you have to stand on top of the grass. That's where the collision is. Oh my gosh. Those rings spinning, those clouds too. Whoa. Like everything is just dithered because there is no... Okay, let's see what happens here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, this is unplayable. It's just unplayable. What? Okay. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for Sonic. I don't think we need to go really... Let's at least get to the end. Okay. Oh, yeah, let's see how much faster he runs now. No. You know, again, if you were a kid that had this and this was all you had access to, I guess it was better than nothing. What? Okay. All right. No, I'm literally just holding to the right and ripping through the level here. Of course, yeah, so now it's gonna hit me there, right? You always have to lose all your rings at least once in a level, in a Sonic level. Okay, so I think that's enough of Sonic. That's pretty horrific. So yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to subject you to any more of that. Oh my gosh, that was... I can't even hit the good buttons for that. All right, you ready? Let's go give it a shot. Let's hit some Resident Evil 2. Oh, boy. So we started off, I mean, with a couple of good games in the beginning there. And now we're really starting to hit the bottom of the barrel here. My goodness gracious. This one is a bit tough. But again, you know, you have to frame it in the era in which this thing was created. Yeah, even back then, you know, it took a lot. I hit the phone book again. It took a lot to, you know, convince you that this was going to be the system. I think they only sold something like less than 300,000 units or something. So it's pretty rare still, and somewhat collectible. You know, there are fans there, although I would love to see some homebrew on this. You know, what, like, with more time, a better understanding of how to wring you know, power out of the system, what could have been. So I'm actually going to go and look into that and see if I can find where kind of the GameCom homebrew community exists. And, you know, let's see what they've got there. But okay, let's go ahead and start a new game. Oh shoot. Oh, that's a zombie. And I can't do anything. So what I'm wondering is if this was a touchscreen game. If it was a touchscreen game, there is nothing I can do. That zombie just chomped on me. You died. Yes. Yeah, it must be. It must be a touchscreen game. So let's see if I try it again. Oh no. Oh, wait a minute. Oh no. It's tank controls. What? Okay. So equip that. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is terrible. Oh, needlessly difficult. Needlessly difficult. Look at, oh, shoot. Okay. Come on. Stop. Get out of here. Come on. Come on. I can't even move. I don't even know what the real controls are for this thing. Woo! That is terrible. And if the whole game is going to be like that too, oh my gosh. No, thank you. All right, Resident Evil 2, you're out of here. No, go play it on a much better system. You don't need to do that. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the next one. Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Who the heck knows? Who the heck knows? Well, those that grew up with it. GameCom knew, right? But yeah, we're gonna see. GameCom Active. All right, here we go. Let's pop that cartridge in. You know, now thinking about the internet capabilities of this, there were a lot of machines that tried to use that kind of internet connectivity as a selling point. And all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, those of you that are old enough to remember, there was the CAT scanner, or I forget the actual name of it, but it's the Q-Cat. That was the name of it. It was called the Q-Cat. And what the Q-Cat was this cat-shaped wand that you plugged into your PC, and then it had a sensor on the front, and you can use it to do barcode scanning. And the whole idea was that you can organize your whole house through barcodes, and you can do shopping lists by scanning barcodes and do all this crazy stuff. Like, who the hell is using a barcode reader in their house? But at the time, we didn't know, you know, what those features were going to be, or what kind of services people were going to want to use. And so they went ahead and tried all kinds of crazy stuff, including these small handheld PDAs that could connect to a phone, that could then dial and update their databases, all that kind of crazy stuff. So, you know, with Tiger leaning into the emerging, you know, internet at that time was, again, pretty innovative, you know. And so I give them props for trying something different, right? And setting themselves apart a little bit. Okay, I always go in playing Raiden on any Mortal Kombat game because Raiden is the best. Isn't that right? That's right. Of course he is. And all right, let's see. Oh, Oh boy. Okay, now let's see. That's high kick. And I think, yeah, because the... Oh my gosh, look how floaty this is too. Okay, need to get on the other side of him. Come on. Come on. There we go. Come on, get down there. Oh, look at this. Just standing still and high kicking. Boom. There we go. All right, that's the technique for raiding. Then no fireballs, no lightning, rather fireballs. That was terrible. No lightning, just spamming buttons there, and there we go. Okay, yeah, of course. Now you're going to use your special attack, right? This one is not entirely terrible, but you can see where, it would just be a pain to play this game on the go. I imagine, too, that the system is probably running a little bit slower, on real hardware than it is in emulation. And so, okay, let's see. Come on. I can't even hit the finishing move. That was it. That was terrible. Okay, you have different backgrounds there and different levels, quite a number of characters. Actually, one of the interesting things here, right, is, of course, there we go. Let's see, can I do the same thing? Noob Sabot it's doing parallax scrolling, right, which was a pretty advanced technique for, these lesser systems. Now, the fact that it only has very limited number of grayscale, right? A very limited grayscale palette means you're not really processing that much information. But how many levels do we have here? We've got foreground, mid, right? We have foreground, mid, and background, I think. Let's see. Let's see. Come on, get out of the way so I can see. Yeah, we have foreground, mid, and background here. So, that's pretty good for a system of this age, of these specs, to deliver on screen. Now, if you weren't putting the processing into that, what could you have done, right, is the question. Yeah, and with these controls, I cannot execute this. This is terrible. Right, so Mortal Kombat, okay, not the best version. Probably, well, maybe it may even be a little bit better than that on Game Boy. At least, a lot of characters, the screens, varied environments, it's doing some voice samples too. Okay, I'd say not the worst version of Mortal Kombat I've ever played. But not one that I would want to go back to and play, that's for sure. All right, let's go ahead and move on to a couple more games and then get out of here for the weekend. All right, so next up what we're going to do is let's try Indy 500. Let's see what this racing game has to offer. Now, at the time, these racing games, that racing games are out, we started to get those, polygon-based racing games really coming into market. So a lot of the super scalar ones that Sega had really pioneered were no longer, they were still in development, but, we were moving towards 3D games. So let's see what kind of racing game the GameCom can deliver its players. So here we go. Let's see. All right, what options do we have? Difficulty, again, we're going down to easy just because I don't know what to expect here. So let's give this a start. Acceleration, grip.
Please select the transmission.
Okay, so you have a little audio in there. Let's go ahead and give that the
Automatic transmission.
automatic.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engine.
All right.
The race begins.
Oh no, a rolling start. Okay, that is my... Oh! Okay, got a little explosion there. Where am I? 221 miles an hour. Oof. Yeah, this one is a little difficult. Then again, I think we have to chalk this one up to some emulation versus the actual game itself. But I mean, you can still see this is not the game that you wanted to play if you were... Okay, so that's changing my perspective. So what's changing my perspective is pressing up or down on this. I basically have one car that's always in front of me, and not even the same class of car. Oh boy, that one looks like a Porsche. Okay, why are you in front of me still? Yeah, I can't get around him. Okay, yeah, terrible. All right, yeah, not playable on this. Oh, boo to that one. Boo, boo, boo. All right, let's go ahead and give, let's see, what other one can we give? All right, this is the Jurassic Park, the Lost World. Let's go ahead and give this one a shot here and see. All right. Oh, here we go. No phone book again. There we go. There's that awesome cartridge animation that we get. Oh, boy. Oh, look at that. What options do we have? Easy sound test. Let's hear it. These. Okay, I mean, it's got dinosaurs in it. All right, let's, or dinosaur sounds, rather. All right. What do we want? Hey, Area 1 Stegosaurus. We're in the Humvee. And what do I need to do here? I just need to avoid the Stegosauruses, huh? Okay. So it's kind of like, you know, I don't have access to any, you know, defensive weapons or anything. It's basically a little racing game, and those little railroad ties are the boundaries on it. So I'm riding on this trail here. Okay. So what am I doing here? I'm now entering the nest area. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, look at that. Okay, that's pretty cool. But you've got, so what did I need there? I didn't need that. I need, what do I need? I need, okay. And then do I have a, let's see. Okay, why? What is that I'm shooting off there? Okay, there's jump. Let me see. Okay, I see. Okay. So, when I'm standing, I have certain things I can do. Wait, no, there's the horn. Okay, that's it. So I need these tranquilizer darts. And then jump out of the way. Oh, come on. Okay, let's see. Now, this is where this kind of stuff gets super janky. Okay. Look at that. Oh, terrible. Okay, come on. Just jump and get out of the way. Oh my gosh, these controls. Okay. And it's not letting me fire. The same fire button won't let me fire. So I'm going to go down here. And it's going to let me get across. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Now, one of those, okay. Okay, there's the tranquilizers. Jump across these here. Can I jump up onto there? Okay, can I jump there? Oh, okay, got some. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is so frustrating. Wow. Okay, yeah. You know, sometimes these games are just crazy cash grabs. I mean, the one thing I thought was Okay, well, all right, so now there's multiple levels. Or that's a hidden area. Okay, it's not letting me jump. The jump button is not letting me jump. And it's not letting me fire. This is just, this is crazy. This is just crazy. But yeah, I mean, okay, you know, again, overly ambitious for this hardware. And my goodness, what a frustrating game. If I was a kid that got this, I'd be like, what kind of nonsense is this? Jurassic Park stinks. Okay, let's go ahead and pop out. Let's see what happens here. I also have the internet cartridge. We'll just turn that on just to see what that looked like too. TigerGame.com. There is the cartridge. Clink. There's our sound and animation. Oh no! They have the ability to do an audio sample. Why not? Ah, that's just terrible. Oh no! Boo! No! Boo! All right. Let's see. Number of players too. Oh, compete.com cable needed. So back in this era, everything that was connected was .com. And so they called their connecting cables you could plug in multiple systems the compete.com cable. How ridiculous. All right. You know, let's hear what it sounds like. All right. Okay, let's see. Okay, maybe it's going to let me use the keypad. That would be good.
Welcome to Jeopardy!
All right, Jeff, Pat, and Ryu. That's us. Let's see. That's Italian. Born on the 4th of July. Around the world geology. Let's do music styles for 100. Oh.
Correct.
Yeah, I knew that, but I didn't press the button fast. All right, let's see what Pat's going to do. That's Italian. Reggiano is a type of this. Let's just usually served grated Parmigiano. Now, how does it spell? I'm just going to do Parm. And see what that does. Let's see if it can take that. Incorrect. Oh, anyone else? Somebody's going to do it, right? I just wanted to see if it could do the nickname. Yeah, Parmesan. Okay, we're negative $200. Trees to rest on. Let's see. Laurels. How funny is that? Okay. Born on the 4th, July 4th, 1930. So the birth is principal. And if it's sports, forget it. Forget me. Oh, Steinbrenner. Yeah. Okay. That I do know. Around the world, legend says volcano goddess known as Madame Pele's. Okay. Pat's quick on the draw there. What is Hawaii? All right. So, yeah, it's Jeopardy. That's fine. Then that one didn't require the touchscreen, which surprised me. I would assumed that one would, but it did not. Did we do? Oh, we didn't do Fighters Mega Mix. That's going to be the one that we're going to wrap it up with. Here is Fighters Mega Mix. Now, this game on the Sega Saturn was awesome. We're going to see how it fares on the Tiger GameCom. Yeah, let's get our cartridge plugged in there. Shunk is apparently, no, it's on Sega's Registry. Of course it is. Virtua Fighters, Fighting Vipers, Fighter Mega Mix, or Turbo Sega. Oh, I really don't have high hopes for this, and it's kind of depressing. There's Pie, Candy. We're gonna have Sarah in there too. Sandman, Jackie. All right, Fighters Mega Mix. Let's do one-player mode. Okay, we have to do Jackie. There's Corsair.
Ready? Go!
Okay. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, look at this. It is trying to give you a little bit of 3D. there. Oh my goodness, this one is pretty tough. You know, okay, so here they are. They're look at the backgrounds there. Okay, so we have scrolling sky. We have a perspective shifting foreground. We have the mid-ground, right, moving as well. It's got the floating grass on the outside that, let's see, which one is it? That's block. We got the floating grass out there, and I got KO'd. Out there, they're trying to do too much with this. I much rather would have seen them put more effort into the character sizes or frames of animation instead of trying to animate everything else in the background. Like, look at that. Look at the foreground there. Okay, so you got the grass moving separately from your foreground. You've got the skies moving. You have all this perspective shifting. Unnecessary for this type of a game on this type of a system. Yeah, that is just really... that one is just really difficult to stomach. All right, let's just go ahead and pop. So yeah, no, not good. Not good on that one. But let's go ahead and just fire up the GameCom Internet cartridge. Let's just see, what you were faced with, back then, right? So now we're going to fire up the GameCom Internet cartridge. And we're just going to see what we were faced with back then when you used it, okay? So here's our cartridge. And we're loading that up. And GameCom. And that was the thing. It was called the GameCom, not the game.com. Also, for SEO purposes right now, it's really difficult to find some content online because you can't enter the .com portion. So you have to break it up, and then sometimes search engines don't understand what you're looking for. So SEO was not a real thing back then, or at least when thinking about naming things. So connect to Delphi. Connect to another service. Let's see what happens if I try to join Delphi. It's waiting for a connection. So basically, this is a terminal, and it is waiting for a connection. So what you would have to do, okay, if I'm remembering this correctly, what you would do is, okay, we're disconnecting from here. So what you would first have to do is connect. So let's do the modem setup, right? So you would go into your modem setup, and your modem, right, was a device that allowed your computer to talk over analog phone lines using a bunch of beeps and tones like you hear in fax machines. And you can choose these different baud rates. So here you go, 9600, 4800, or 2400 baud modems. 9600 back in the day, man, that was blisteringly fast. Then we had 14.4, then we had 56K modems. But the modem, I believe, with the GameCom was capable of 14.4. But this will only let you connect at 9600 maximum. So that's pretty interesting. All right, so if we connect to Delphi, now what you would need to do is you would enter your Delphi local number. So you would have to use the stylus, go ahead and punch in the telephone number of the Delphi service. And that's how this worked. You had to go ahead and connect first to those services. Then you could go fire up the application. So then you would dial in the number, hit connect, and then you should be able to, you would go ahead and join Delphi. So when we were pressing that before, then it's now waiting to hear the dial tone. So I'd love to know if there are some services out there that can emulate this type of a thing. And so we could experience this. There's got to be some wacky collector out there that has a Delphi type terminal up and running that we could connect a GameCom emulator to and check that out. It's got to be somebody that's done that. But yeah, that was the way the GameCom worked. My goodness. And then let's see, if you put in a different service, I wonder how much Delphi also paid to have that done. If you connect to the other service, right, you would set that up. You would enter in the phone number of the service that you'd have, and then you would connect to it, and then you could use it as a terminal. Yeah, really, really wacky stuff. really wacky stuff. But that is the unfortunately ill-fated GameCom by Tiger Electronics. There were a couple of hidden gems in there. Like I said, when we looked at Centipede, we looked at Frogger, we looked at even Duke Nukem 3D. That one took me by surprise. At first blush, you look at it and go, oh my goodness, that's terrible. But once you start moving through it, you see what they were going for, and you're like, okay, I could see myself playing through that game because it was interesting. But so many others that were just absolutely terrible. But once again, it's a case of technology trying to exceed really its grasp and, reach for something it just couldn't compete with. There was no way that the Tiger GameCom could go ahead and compete with the Nintendo Game Boy. But it's important to go back and look at the history of these systems. So once again, we understand where we came from, the things that we tried, what has worked, and why they were trying to put those pieces together. Today, we're able to play on mobile devices, mobile game platforms, and connect with players from all over the world. So their vision wasn't incorrect. It was just way too early on a system that was way too anemic. But that's going to bring us to the end of another episode of Rewind. Remember, if you are a video game developer of any size, from AAAs to indies, make sure you head on over to aws.amazon.com/GameTech to discover the products, solutions, and services that we offer to help you on your cloud game development journey. And if you're a beginner looking for a clear starting point to help you build a career or learn to produce games in the AWS cloud, we recommend you start with an AWS Learning Plan. This set of on-demand courses will increase your knowledge of game servers and game analytics and help grow your technical skills to solve real-world game development, compute, and analytics problems. And you can demonstrate your knowledge to the world by earning digital badges. Head on over to aws.training/GameTech to start your AWS for Games learning plan today. And I want to give a special shout out and thank you as always to Waterflame for allowing us to use his music here on Rewind. Make sure you head on over to his YouTube channel at Waterflame Music to check out his incredible work. And if you care about preserving the history of video games as much as I do, make sure you head on over to the Video Game History Foundation's website at gamehistory.org. They're doing incredible work to preserve the history of our industry for future generations. And I want to thank you for spending your Friday afternoon with me. Have a wonderful rest of your day, an awesome weekend. Don't play the GameCom, and we'll see you next week on Rewind.